been
God.
dying
Oh my
for
God.
this.
Stop. We are fangirling over you two.
Oh my God, the love is mutual.
I'm
How
sorry
are
we
you?
let Team Purple down.
No, you did
Oh,
not. No, you did
God.
not.
I'm so
No. First and foremost, we are so excited to be speaking with the two of you. It's no secret we have been your
Huge
biggest
fans.
cheerleaders, your biggest
Huge
fans all
fans.
season long. So from
Thank
one
you.
purple team to another, we love and adore y'all, and you ran such an amazing race, and you should really be proud of yourselves.
Thank you very
You
much.
are.
That honestly means so much coming from you two.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your season and your experience. I just from the very beginning, like what, now that it's all done, you watched the finale, how are you feeling?
I mean, first and foremost, I'm feeling unbelievably proud of Raquel and I. I mean, I knew like in my heart, just because I don't know, I was like, we can do this. Like, you know, like I was overwhelmed with just even the opportunity to begin with. But I just truly believed in us. I was like, I want to show everyone that two girls who are bubbly and ditzy and joke and have fun like mean business too. And I don't know, I hope towards the end people like saw that. We truly like gave it like blood, sweat, and tears. But no, I mean, this was just incredible to do with Raquel. I couldn't do it with any other person.
Yeah, I mean, what a crazy opportunity that so few people in this world get. I mean, I'm sure over 33 seasons, millions of people have applied, and there is a couple hundred of us that get the opportunity. And so I think not losing sight of that and really living in the moment and enjoying the scenery when you can, taking the long route in Switzerland when you can. Why take a half drive when you can take a 4.5-hour scenic drive, and really get to appreciate all of Switzerland for what it's worth. I mean, I say, hey, I would do it again.
I did say that. I was like, I literally would not take another route. Like if I had the option, like this was beautiful. It is what it is. Like, again, just don't be last.
Yeah.
I think that's why, I mean, preseason, we knew we loved y'all, but we really connected with you throughout the season because you appreciated every second and never took it for granted. And we saw that, like every leg, no matter if you were facing any adversity, you always had a smile on your face and you were so encouraging of each other. And we really loved that as a viewer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well,
That means a lot because we didn't want to lose sight of ourselves. First and foremost, like we just wanted to be ourselves on this race. Going on TV and running and competing for $1 million can really turn people into crazy or monsters. And it was just being a fan of the show. I was like, this is too incredible of a thing to take for granted. And like, let's just have fun.
And like at the end of the day, like when you're on the show, it's so surreal. Like even if you're doing a challenge and you can't stand, like I just stop and I would laugh and be like, I'm doing this on The Amazing Race. Like this is ridiculous. Like this is so stupid that this is my life right now. So it's like I couldn't like get angry about it because it's like, my 94-year-old grandpa said to me before going on the show, he's like, just do the best you can, and that's like all you can do. And so even in moments when I was having like a hard time, it's like, well, I'm doing the best I can and I'm on The Amazing Race. So it's like,
not doing that bad.
I'm not doing bad at all.
all.
Do you two have a favorite moment from the entire season that just sticks with you and that you also enjoyed rewatching the season back?
I mean, mine is just Greece, the Thessaloniki, when we won first place for the first time. I think like I was joking earlier, but I'm like, the stone challenge was so mentally draining, but having been the first team to find that, I was like, it's almost as good as like great sex. Like it was like the same high. And like I said that, and they obviously didn't air that. I was like, it was like the best high I'd gone all season. But that was great. And then obviously just coming in first place, winning a trip to Kauai, that was amazing. But I mean, Cayla, you're one of your favorite moments, which was one of mine too, was the barrels, deconstructing the barrels.
Yeah, I don't know why. We had these strategies going into it, right? And it was Raquel was going to do the physical stuff. I would do the more mental stuff. the more memory, oriented things, detail oriented things. But you guys know, it's like when you get these clues, you make the best decision as far as a detour without knowing a whole lot of information. I didn't know it was going to be so physical. And watching the show back, it's funny, and talking to Coach or Sam, he gives us this look when we walk through the door of like, girls, like, not your challenge, because it was pure brute strength. And I had a moment with Raquel. I was like, Raquel, like, you're the strong one. Like, you might have to do both. Like, I don't know that I can do this. And I think I was the one that got the first ring off. And I literally was like, oh my God. And I, like, it was just like a moment of, I had said it, I want to be the next female team, but like, yes, we're females, whatever. But like, I wanted to make it a point of, I can run with the boys. We can run with the boys. I can do the strength stuff. Like, like Raquel laughs, like, it might not be pretty, but we're going to get the job done. And so for me, that was just a moment of like, I was intimidated going into that challenge. And I ended up like proving to myself, like, fuck that, you got it, So like, I don't know. That was like a big moment for me, because I think that was when I was the most in my head and the most intimidated. And I was like, girl, don't do that. Don't be intimidated. Just go. Yeah. Get it done.
And she did it with like her skinny chicken arms, and like, and then when in the olive branch, when she lifted me up, because like I couldn't lift her, I'm the one that lifts. And then she lifted me up like no problem. I was like, girl, you're not gonna be able to lift me. And she literally does it in like one fell swoop. And I was like, you're a savage. Like, you're crazy. Like, who would know? Like, those legs of yours have the muscle to just pop me right up there.
I think I love that moment where the ladder's in the background of the shot and you're like trying to, But
I didn't see the ladder. I did not see it.
I don't think
it was as close to us. I think they made it seem close.
The power of editing. But what I appreciate about Amazing Race is that it pushes you past what you think that you're capable of to show you that you're so much capable. You're capable of so much more. And I think that for the both of you, watching you kind of progress throughout the season, those moments of y'all just overcoming and doing things better than almost every other team was so fun to watch, because I think the surprise on each of your faces when you're like, oh my God, we just did it, was like you just overcame like your fear of not being able to do it or whatever. And so it was just fun to watch.
Now that you've lived out the Amazing Race, and I know you've watched other seasons before, what do you think is the hardest part of the entire experience?
For us, well, I can't speak for, I'll let Raquel answer her own. For me, it was mentally getting up every day and knowing like I need to perform my best. But it wasn't just for me. It's like, you're running this with a partner. Like, I commend you two so much. Like, I joke about it, like, oh my God, if me and my boyfriend were to go on this, like we would break up. Like, it's the immense pressure you put on yourself. It's also this overwhelming fear of letting down your partner. And I just love and respect her so much. And I was so proud every time she did something that I knew was out of her comfort zone. So it was just something that like, I overwhelmingly just did not want to let her down. So I wouldn't even say it's the challenges, it's the memory, stuff like that. Like, I'm a fan of the show. I've prepared, like, it wasn't necessarily the race. It was the immense pressure you put on yourself to not let your partner down. That for me was the hardest thing, to get up every day and just be like, you got to do it again, Cayla. Like, but at the same time, I just had such an incredible partner to where like, she wasn't putting that pressure on me. I was putting it on myself, but we also just were so proud of each other throughout the whole, I mean, I said it so many times, I'm like, I'm so proud of you. I could cry. Like, I was just so proud. I was just so proud of us. And it's just this emotional roller coaster of, I'm so proud. And it's like, at what, like, is there a moment where that stops, and that's a scary feeling. So that for me was the hardest part. Raquel.
I think for me, it's very similar. I think just the emotional highs and lows, it's just, it is so stressful, and, you want to win so badly, and you don't want to disappoint yourself, your teammate, your family. And then you're also like, the people, you know, you love and you're closest to, like my fiance, like I couldn't talk to him for almost a month, you know, you barely have any, you know, you have less than 5 minutes a week, you know, with someone standing next to you, listening to your whole conversation. It's like, you know, the people that you love most, you can't talk to them during like some of the most stressful times in your life. And even though I had Kayla, and thank God I had her, you know, I mean, she was such a saving grace in my life. It's just tough, you know, it's, there were moments there. I think there was one day in I don't remember which leg, but I just broke down in the room crying, hysterical. And like, I'm not a crier.
It
And
was
I was
Greece.
like,
It was after the Domates.
oh, it was after the Roma. Yeah, the first leg in Greece. Yes. And
Yeah,
I just broke down and I was
she came to me.
crying.
She's like, Kayla, like I didn't grow up playing sports. Like I don't know the feeling of like someone counting on me and like not letting a team down. Like she's like, I've always been like, you know, she's like, I like the pressure of letting you down. And I felt like I let you down in the Domati. She's like, it's too much. Like it's too much. And I was like, Raquel, like you didn't let me down. Like I'm so proud of you. And ultimately her doing that challenge needed to happen because she needed to see how much attention to detail matters. Yeah, I don't know. It was just, yeah, I think for both of us, the pressure of not letting each other down was the biggest hurdle for us.
I agree. That's rough. The entire race, you're just filled with so much anxiety, so much stress. Your adrenaline is just constant. I remember coming back from the race for us, and both of us slept for like 3 days because our bodies were just like so overwhelmed.
Done. Yeah, our bodies are done. Let's talk about the finale episode. When you watch it back, like how far ahead were you when you got to the memory task?
I mean, Raquel, quote me if I'm wrong, like 10, 15 minutes?
Yeah, not more than probably 10 minutes. You know, everything kind of seems like a blur when you're on the race, but yeah, we were like 10 minutes ahead. And once we actually started the challenge, you know, because I was worried because I know that I knew that Penn has a photographic memory, and anything going up against him with a memory challenge like that, I mean, let's go up against him with a vision challenge. Any day will win, clearly.
Well, the fish is blue. That's purple, Penn.
Yeah. But so I knew that 10 minutes wasn't so much cushion, but then when we actually saw it and we were, you know, putting everything on that board, I actually was feeling better. I'm like, oh, I think we got this. Like, this isn't so bad, you know? And then I don't know. It's like, I thought that we had the board, and when they told us that wasn't it, and then we tried to switch it really quickly once or twice, and it still wasn't it. I was like, oh shit, like we're fucked. You know, because we, like, you know, Kayla had said this earlier. You made a really good point. We had studied legs 1 through 10 religiously. Like after every leg, we came inside and wrote down intense notes, went over everything 1,000 times. And we just, in leg 11, the finale, we didn't know what color the candy was. I had my mask on. She was far away. When we ripped open the clue, that's where the candy was sitting, and we didn't see the color of the candy was the Amazing Race colors. I was
and
like,
my Amazing Race fan in me is like literally like punching myself. I'm like, of course it's yellow and red, Kayla. Like, trust me. Like it was the dumbest thing. I was just like, I can't believe I did that. But then when we did correct it, he still said fault again. And that was another thing, is like, we can study and test ourselves. But the coin, we also weren't sure about the coin because it was different shades of gold and different images on it. But she did that. I didn't. So I didn't think that I needed to go up and look at what coin she flipped over. So now it's like, well, we know it was a gold coin, but I was like, Raquel, did you get a good look at the coin? You know, so then we're just second guessing all of the things that we think we already know. And someone said to us, they're like, you know, how did that feel when you heard game, set, match, like across the way, like him and Penn? I go, honestly, like that wasn't my defeating moment. My defeating moment was, it wasn't the first time we heard fault. Cause in my mind, I was like, okay, I think it might be the candy. And she's like, well, I think it might be the coin. I'm like, okay, well, let's just try both. And then it got obviously way out of hand. But it was when they ran in, because again, we saw firsthand with the fish, and they had made a comment. Penn is like basically photographic. It made me feel a little better watching it back that they had a couple faults too. But like in my moment when they ran in, I looked and I said to Raquel, we just lost $1 million. They hadn't even started it yet. We still had obviously time to make maybe, but like, I knew for me, because we were at that moment, we had been so good about being calm and not getting in our heads, but we couldn't figure out what we did wrong because we thought we fixed the candy, then we thought we fixed the coin, but then we did it alternate. It was just like, oh my God, it's
and I was
literally
so
like
mad at myself that I didn't tell that person coming out of that last studio not to tell them directions. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
I was like, why did I not just say, hey, no, don't help them, do not help them, you know?
But like that wasn't our race the whole way, you know, like that
But
wasn't
also,
like
like
us
you
doing
could have
that.
said that and he still would have helped. You know, you never know.
Yeah.
Right. Or like they're so good at directions the whole season that they still would have had no issue finding it. You know, I mean, it's just my defeating moment was when they said match point, and I was like, oh crap, that's how we lose $1 million. But you know, we still gained a lot more. Someone made a really good point. It's like we never had the $1 million to begin with, so we didn't lose anything. We just gained a lot of other things. And you know, I never applied to the show. They asked me to be on it. And so this was never something that like I had even in a million years envisioned myself doing. So just to be able to be given this opportunity and everything that has come with this has been so life-changing in and of itself. And the aftermath, whatever will happen, you just really have to count your blessings. But I think, you know, right now today hurts just because we're watching it all over again and experiencing again. So those wounds just feel very fresh. But you have to just, you know, the best team won. I feel like even though I think we were a really good team, they were just consistently flawless. Kim and Penn, I mean, they didn't have a single like mess up all season. I mean, it was like, I think the hardest challenge for him was like the vision challenge. And yeah, he was 47. I don't think he would have as good of, you know, vision as somebody
I
that's
felt
30.
so good getting it on the first try. And he's like, yeah, I've run back and forth 6 times. I was like, yes, you know, like I had to take the little wins where I could. But, you know, someone said to us, like, even though today I knew it was going to be hard watching it back, like I didn't tell my parents, I didn't tell my boyfriend, I didn't tell anyone the outcome. So I wanted to watch and experience this with everyone and go through this crazy journey all over again. And it's funny, I didn't think about how crushing this last one would truly be, because it's just a reminder of we were in first all day.
Yeah.
But like at the same time, like someone mentioned us, they're like, you guys are the second best performing all-female team to run this amazing race. And you know, I truly did believe we were going to be the 4th all-female team. Like maybe we'll get another shot at it, but it's just like
I was about to ask, would you ever do it again?
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh my God. Only with Raquel. I literally could never do this with anyone else. Like this is an insane thing. You guys understand. Like it's so easy being the person on the couch watching the show as a fan. I'm like, oh my God, how did you do that? It's like now that I've been in it, I'm like, I said it. This is the absolute best thing that I have ever been able to experience. It was also the hardest thing I've ever done. Like ever. But we did pretty good. I'm pretty proud of ourselves.
No, yeah, you did.
So good. I mean, even from the very beginning, I hope you knew that we were rooting for the two of you the whole time.
Yeah.
Not just because you're purple.
I had hopes. I was like, Team Purple, like give me all your vibes.
Yes.
My last question for you, because I did ask Dusty this when we spoke to him earlier. If you could have had any element of the race that wasn't in this season as far as advantages, like fast forward, express pass, yields, U-turns, are there any of those that you wish you would have had? And if so, would you have used any of them?
Oh yeah, I feel like I would have spiced it up 100%. I was all for at the right moment using a U-turn or something like that. I know that Kayla was a little bit more like, I don't know how I feel about that. I'm like, this is an amazing race. Like there are 2 teams clearly our toughest competition. I will use it.
Okay, so and I wasn't against using it. It wasn't like I would feel bad. It wasn't that. It was, you guys have to like realize, like I really analyzed all these teams and I paid attention, and Dusty and Ryan were at the very back of the pack multiple times and bulldozed their way back. Kim and Penn, do not make a mistake. And so in my mind, I was like, yeah, if we have that opportunity, that could be the way that we get it. But it just like, it's a crazy season with like the 19 months. I'm like, if we U-turn them and they make it through it, because they're so strong, and like nothing against Natalia and Arun, but like they have made just some massive mistakes and been ungodly behind to where like literally the greeter left in Lugano, to where I'm like, I still don't think if we U-turned one of them, they would be last. And now we would have pissed them off. And if they get another chance, now we have a target on our back that we wouldn't have had. I was like over analyzing like literally everything. So it was like, I don't think if there was another element like a U-turn or a yield, I do wish that if on the non-elim legs, as like a fan of the show, that there was an added speed bump for the non-eliminated teams, aka Dusty and Ryan, especially for leg 10, you know? So I would say the speed bump. I would say that for the non-elim teams on non-elim legs. That would be my answer.
I think it would have been like more fun and exciting, you know? Like I definitely wish that they had some stuff like that. Would have spiced it up a little bit and added a little bit more, I don't know, oomph.
Well, it was
a little more drama.
It was an amazing season from start to finish. We're so happy that you were able to even finish the race. Like what a huge relief that must have been. And you both should, like I said, be really proud of yourselves. It was a joy to watch you both.
Yeah, the race is hard and y'all did so good. Y'all did such a good job.
Thank you.
Like truly that means so much to us.
Yeah.
Literally,
I've never been this excited for any interview. So like she's like at
they're like, oh, it's the pit stop. I was like, ah! Like I was so excited. Like I feel like my like fan. I'm like just so blown away.
Hard right now.
Oh my God, they're so great.
One of these days we'll have to get together. We'll swap stories. And
can we please? I'd love that.
Yes, please.
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day. Soak it all in and just have fun.
All right, guys.
Thank you guys seriously for everything and all the support. We love you guys. We haven't even met you. Oh, congratulations on your wedding.
Oh yeah,
thank you.
Congrats. I'm excited.
Thank you.